Welcome into this week's Degrees of Science. Being in space, what was that feeling like?
As soon as we get to around 200 nautical miles above the Earth and the engine's cut off, you go from all this noise and chaos to just smooth as glass. And then you begin to see things kind of rise up before you. And that's your checklist or your gloves that you're taking off or your helmet that you're taking off. And you know that I am in space.
I never heard of a planet hunter. So Dr. Christensen, what exactly does a planet hunter do?
A planet hunter looks for planets around other stars. So our sun is a star with 8 planets around it, and our sky is full of stars. So I look for planets around all of those stars.
What is the turbulence and just the flight through a hurricane? What does that feel like while you are up there working?
It's hard to describe with words. You really have to experience it. So the plane will just kind of be flying along, and then you hit, kind of a zero G where basically you're just flying straight up, and then you can slam back down again and back up and back down until you get through the worst of it. And so you can imagine what that feels like. Any roller coaster that you've been on where you've kind of experienced some of that pit of your stomach feeling, that times about 10.
For someone that, say, lives in an area where it's partial compared to in totality, how much of a difference is the view from those two locations?
Well, it's literally night and day. So whenever we have the totality, it will get dark. It will get dark. We will be able to see not only the most amazing things, which are the corona of the sun and the diamond ring and the 360 degrees sunset, but we're also going to be able to see stars, planets. It's just beautiful. To me, I think it is the most beautiful natural phenomena that I have ever seen in my life.
Do we know if this uptick in earthquake activity is natural, or is it more induced earthquakes that are taking place?
That area near the county line between Scurry and Fisher, it's not known for natural seismicity. The pattern of the earthquakes and the relationship to human causes in the oil field are very similar to what we've seen in many other cases in the Permian Basin region.
How is it that prints that were from dinosaurs 100 million years ago, how is it that we can still see those in the riverbed there?
That's a fantastic question, and it's something that takes a little bit of imagination. So at that time, the dinosaurs were walking along a seashore, kind of an intertidal zone that had very thick, sticky mud. And so the tracks that they left behind were very well preserved. They had a lot of detail. And then within a few, maybe hours, even up to a few days before those tracks had a chance to dry out and crumble away, the tide came in and laid layers of sediment over the top of those tracks, and that's what preserved them. And now the river, all these millions of years later, is exposing those tracks. It washes away those layers of sediment that were laid down, and that's what allows those tracks to still be seen today.
To get right to the point, again, something people have heard the term of, but they don't know a lot exactly what it is. What exactly is El Nino and La Nina?
Sure. Most people have heard of El Nino, maybe from Chris Farley's Saturday Night Live skit. It is not, in fact, a storm. It's a global weather pattern that is induced by changes in the temperature of the surface of the Pacific Ocean. Gets a little warmer than normal, that's El Nino. A little cooler than normal, that's La Nina. And that has the power to change global weather patterns.
And within the first hour of digging, Justin and I are digging along, and all of a sudden, clink, and I brush, and it's just he and I locked in on this little tiny, spot that both he and I are digging on. And I pick, and he's like, he gasped and he points. He's like, "What's that? Is that a claw?" And I pick it up, and it's a T-Rex tooth, a crown of a T-Rex tooth that popped off. And he's like, kind of going nuts. I'm just like, shh, let's see what we got here. So we start brushing it off, and we reveal 3 more T-Rex teeth just poking out at us. And he and I like lock eyes. I just sort of whispered to him, I said, T-Rex. And then we both just exclaimed, to everybody else, because again, I got about 30 people out there with us, that we got a T-Rex. And, it still gives me goosebumps.